Hello, everybody. Welcome to How to Wow Your Clients with truly Gilbert's top selling agent, all around extraordinary businesswoman and domination powerhouse, Janine Igliane of the home selling team of Randy and Janine. Welcome, Janine. We are, oh, you're muted. There you go.
There we go. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. We're excited to have you. And Stacy Williams with Guild Mortgage. He is our sponsor, kind of the one to help him make all of this happen. Stacy, what do you have to say to the people?
Welcome. You're in for a treat, and thank you for allowing me to participate.
Absolutely. You happen to know a thing or two about working with Janine, don't you?
A little bit. 3-4 years now.
Yeah. So we're excited to hear the tips, the wow points, were some of the things she said. What are those touch points where you have an opportunity to create that wow experience? And really, the thing I think is so important and timely right now for anybody to be learning about this is that this is really a differentiator in your business. This is how you differentiate. People can copy a system. People can copy a pricing model, but how you make them feel, people can't copy that. And an example of that is look at Disney, okay? All of the amusement parks try to copy what Disney has done, but they can't. They just can't copy the feeling that they are able to give because you can't, that's the part that can't be replicated. So what are those, where do you do that? How do you do that? That's why I'm super excited to hear because Janine does a really good job with that. In fact, I even saw, hope this isn't spoiler alert, you had a women's night that you just did, which was pretty dang cool. So with that, Janine, take it away.
Awesome. I'm going to share my screen. Share. So thank you all. If you want to use your video, that would be fine with me. I'd love to see people. And I'm like, this might be a little weird to be talking, myself maybe. But I'm really excited. Ryan, I see you. I'm really excited to share what we do to wow our clients because it's something that I do think sets us apart and makes us a little bit different. So, is it gonna let me? Okay, there we go. So if you don't know who I am, I've been in real estate for 7 years. I started with my dad in real estate. He's been a realtor my whole life. And I joined him. He always kind of wanted me to join him. I joined him 7 years ago. And now as he slows down and starts to enjoy maybe a slower way of life or retirement or early retirement, whatever, I have just really found that I feel so grateful to do what I do. I genuinely love it. It is so fun, and I am so grateful every day. I'm fortunate to say and proud to say that I've been named top 40 under 40 for 5 years in a row. My focus is in geographic farming. That's how I built my business. I am the rainmaker for the home selling team. And year to date, so for 2020, we've closed 61 homes and we currently have 17 homes in escrow. So I'm hoping and expecting it to continue to be another great year. So it should be
phenomenal. That's a serious business, folks.
Thanks, Jason. So today I'm going to talk about how to wow the client and really what we do. I'll just share with you guys. Always have been an open book and share with you what we do. So happy compelled to refer us out and tell their friends about us, post on social media, all of that stuff. And I know you guys can all agree, there really is more competition than ever when it comes to selling real estate. Not only do we have a crazy we have right now in the state of Arizona. Jason?
I'm sorry, what was that? You got garbled on my side. I got unstable.
Oh, I did.
So go ahead.
I just was asking, do you know how many realtors there are licensed in the state of Arizona right now?
Aside from the flippant answer of far too many. It's
About
about 50.
44,000.
It's about, if you include those who are active and everything, it's actually about 52,000.
That's crazy. So there's a lot of competition, but unlike in years past, we have companies that are competing with us too, right? So we have, I mean, you guys can shout it out. We got what? Let me hear it. Open Door, OfferPad, we got Zillow. I mean, we got, the list goes on and on, right? And these are
Redfin,
Knox hitting home run.
kick Purple Brooks to the curb.
So these are major companies with lots of money that are buying for our clients' attention. And so for me, even more than ever, it's so important that we show our value, why they should choose us over some of those companies or over our competition, and that we do a really good job for them, because that is how we're going to continue to stay relevant in this industry, right? Not only, so we have competition with realtors, we have competition with these companies, we also have tech that would love to find a way to make us obsolete. And I truly believe that there is no way that that can happen, because unfortunately, or fortunately for us, buying and selling real estate is not an exact science. There are so many variables, and you guys can probably attest to this, that you've experienced or you've seen where a realtor's had a home listed and wasn't able to sell it, and then that seller fires that realtor, you come on and you're able to get the job done. And why is that, right? And it's because it isn't an exact science. There is, I would argue, maybe a formula or a set of steps or series, but to try to automate that, it just can't be done. And so those little nuances, the things that we do with our client and how we communicate with them and take care of them, is what's going to set us apart from the rest, and continue to elevate, I would hope, our industry. I just want our industry to be a respected industry that people admire and want to do business with. So that's kind of what drives me in all of this. So when we talk about wowing the client, for me, it really starts with loving your database. And when it comes to loving your database, you have to, in order to love on it, you have to know who's in there, right? So you have to make sure that your database is up to date, it's accurate. And I know a lot of you are, like we are, transitioning over to Command, and it's been, I mean, I'll just be honest, a little difficult, a little tough, but we're doing it. And it's been good because it's created opportunities for us to see areas that we can improve on. It's given us an opportunity to really clean up our database and make sure that it's accurate, that it's up to date. We found that people have moved, and unfortunately we didn't update their address. So I would say love on your database, start with your database, make sure that it's up to date, current, accurate, have emails, phone numbers, all that kind of stuff. This is a little tough, Jason, not having like my facial feedback. So
I know it's a little different, right?
It is.
Like
I'm going to need you guys
a little bit, right? Especially because some people might be like, oh, I don't want to have to talk or unmute. So here's a little secret, everybody. You can really, even though you're sitting there mute, if you just hit your space bar, it will unmute you and you can talk. So you don't have to like worry about now where's the unmute, and so you can just hit it really quick and it'll unmute you and you can talk and give Janine some feedback here. So I want to jump in since I'm talking here,
Yeah.
I just can't help myself. When it comes to your CRM and your database, that segmenting is critical, okay? If you are not familiar with DTD2, we need to teach you how to DTD2, okay? And that's a process that you can go through to segment your database. And it's a systematic way to go through and break your people apart, because you cannot talk to them all the same way. You just can't. You just can't do it. And so those who take the time to segment your database are going to reap massive rewards on the back end. I mean, I can't overemphasize and support what Janine is saying enough about love your database, take the time. It is your business more now than ever. It's your business, truly. And we will be working to teach you guys strategies and bring you content that you will be able to share to your database in the weeks to come. So I'll be quiet.
I love it. I love it. I'll share with you one of the things that we do, the very first thing that we do with our clients as soon as I work with somebody, you know, I take a listing or I have a buyer consultation, we hand them a packet of information. And one of the probably most important forms in there that we ask them to fill out is called our All About You form. And our All About You form has, we want to know their birthdays, we want to know their anniversary, we want to know the names of their kids, the birthdays for their kids, their favorite restaurant. We also ask things like what's their favorite drink, some of those things, just so that we can throughout the process serve them better. And once we have that, then that form immediately gets put into our database, and so we have all of their current info. So it starts with, right, making sure that your info in your database is accurate. And one of the best ways to do it is just to do it right up front. So we use an All About You form, and we've changed it and modified it over the years. It's evolved, and we've realized, oh, we don't need that, or we need this. And so we're constantly updating it, improving it. So who's in the database and why? I want to ask a question. So yes, we want to put clients in the database, right? We want to make sure that our current clients are in there, our past clients. Who else should be in the database? Anybody?
Everybody.
Vendors and service providers.
Okay, vendors and service providers. Did you say something, Chelsea?
Everybody.
Everybody, I love it. What about like your sphere, right? Friends, family, relatives. Even if they're not currently working with you, it doesn't mean that you can't note that and then cultivate that or send specific targeted information just to stay in front of them. So it's so important that it's not that we do put everybody in there that we connect with. I love doing networking events because I can get business cards and things from other local businesses, and then I add them into my database. So really important that we just are intentional and that we're purposeful with our database, and that we really try to add everybody in there. If you guys have been to any of my farming classes, you've heard me talk about all the events that we do. And one of the things that we do is we ask for people to sign up in advance. And we do that because we can collect their info that way. Of course, we give them the option to opt out and all of that. We do try to be on the up and up with it. But it's a great way for us to add them into our database. So now we can note that, hey, this person lives in this community, so we can do specific targeted emails, phone calls, mailers, whatever around that connection. So adding everybody into the database, I would say, is going to be really important.
Hey, Janine,
Yes.
would you be willing to share the All About You form
Yes.
with us? Because I think that's an incredible idea. I love that.
Yep. I had a feeling that there would be some requests for forms, so I will make sure that we get those shared.
Thank you.
So when it comes to your database, it's important that you keep in touch with them, obviously, right? It's one thing to add someone to the database, but it's another, what are you going to do with them in there? So some of the different ways that we keep in touch with our database is obviously we do direct mail to them. And one of the reasons why we do the variety of touches is because different people connect to different things, right? Some people are great about checking the mail. Like, for example, in my family, in my house, I love getting the mail. My husband never gets the mail. So it's more likely that I'm going to be the one that sees those mailers and things like that. Phone calls, right? Some people love to chat on the phone. Some people hate it. And then visiting in person, dropping by, doing something in person is always fun. And just touching people in different ways. Another kind of extension in terms of keeping in touch is doing videos. So we've talked a lot about this, and I'll go into a little bit more detail about some different videos, but videos are a great way. People love watching and opening videos. And it's just a great way to put your face in front of them. So I've really been loving videos. We do client parties, and I'll talk some more about that. And then acknowledging our clients on their birthdays, anniversaries, their anniversaries of their homes. And again, I'll talk in more detail about that, but just keeping in touch with them. I think one of the greatest things for me that's come out of this quarantine time and all of that is just being intentional with connecting with people, and just because I genuinely care and I want to know how are they doing. And it's just been a great opportunity, and people have really responded well. And I think I've shared this with some of you before. You know, I've had some people reach out to me, and clients reach out to me and just say, hey, Janine, I'm thinking about you. And it means so, so much. So staying in touch with people, making it personal, is always going to be really important. One of the things that I love about sending personal videos is being able to say their name, so they know that this is a video that I did specifically for you. It's not just a generic video that I sent to 100 people. And people really have, they just love it. They've responded really well. So keeping in touch is going to be a really important part of wowing our client, right? Does anyone know what the statistic is about how many people would have used the same realtor had they just kept in touch? Anybody?
Hit those space bars. Let's hear it.
I'd say 70%.
It's like 79%, I think Gary said at the last convention. It's high. How crazy though? Like, just stay in touch. And we're super
Well, what's the
fortunate.
percentage that actually do? Because there's the drop off, right? So at the end of a transaction, they say that it's about 80, 82% of everyone's like, my agent was phenomenal. I would use them again, yada, yada, yada. And then 5 to 7 years goes by, because that's your life cycle between it. And it's 13. It's like 12 to 13, maybe as high as 17% actually use their realtor because they lost touch.
I think we have it so much easier than like even my dad did selling real estate, because we have social media, and it's a fantastic way to stay in touch with people. So friending them on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot, and just being intentional with commenting and liking and sending messages and things like that. And then it also gives us opportunity to know what's going on in their life, right? We can see when they've had a major life event. We can see when it's a birthday. So sometimes the birthday reminders come through for me on Facebook faster than my assistant will give them to me. So it's a nice way to have that in the back of my mind. And then just that constant staying in front of them. And that's what it's about, you guys, is just staying in touch. So be intentional with it. So videos, as we talked about, I love doing videos. So I do birthday videos where I will send BombBomb videos to my clients, and my assistant gives me the birthdays for the month in advance. So I just sit down at one time and I do all my videos at once. And it, depending on how many are for that month, it can take me, 30 minutes to an hour. And I'll just sit there and just do my BombBomb, record my BombBomb video, and then I schedule that send. So I can schedule it for 2-3 weeks in advance so that it gets there first thing in the morning. So maybe they think I recorded it that morning, or maybe they know, who knows. But again, it's a personal video. And I love doing that. And then the response has been so great from those. They're just like, oh, thank you, Janine. Market updates are great videos to send out. And that's a great video to send to current clients, past clients. People are always interested what's going on in the market. I've actually recorded a market update video with Stacy one time, which was really fun to share. So I would say get creative with with your content. Don't be afraid to lean on your lender for input, but just, get the information out there. Helpful home tips. So we love to send out a video reminding our clients in the spring and in the fall to have their ACs checked and serviced. We know that doing that extends the life of those units. And so it's nice to send out a video of like, hey, it's that time again. And then also here's a link with a coupon to our preferred AC company, so you can go and get that scheduled. So any kind of helpful home tips are fun. Anything that's informational, educational. I did a video where I interviewed my stager, and we just talked about design trends and all the kind of new trends. So like wallpaper is really big and coming in. Some different colors are really becoming more and more popular. And so being able to take some of those tidbits and sharing them with clients has been really fun too. And what's great about videos is you can use videos in a variety of ways, right? So you can post them on social media, you can send them directly to your clients, you can save them on YouTube. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see some things that I've saved there, just videos that I've done. I think people love to see your face. And so a video is a great way to get in front of them. It's almost like it's just appealing, right? Versus reading an email with the same information. I would much rather watch a video of somebody sharing that info with me than just reading it. Am I right? Do you guys agree? Yes, yes. Any other video ideas that you can think of? I'm sure you guys have some good ones.
Just value series in general. Any good topic to do a series on?
Yeah.
Yeah, think about even just taking one. What if you were to take and record a series of videos that took a person through every step of the process, from the listing side and from a buyer side. And so you make the videos, and then these videos you just send out as, okay, it's the inspection time. So the video goes out that explains to them what's going to happen during the inspection. It shows them an example of an inspection, all that kind of stuff. And then you also had that video living on YouTube and a blog that you make. Think about all the different ways now people are able to find you and connect with you. And the person who gets it is like, you know, my realtor just sends me all this stuff that's great information. Check this out. We have a wealth of content options available to us that we tend to we talk ourselves out of it. Oh, nobody really wants to see that. Oh, it's not important. I don't know what to say, or I don't look good on camera. You know, well, you just have to do it, because you know what? If you don't look good on camera, you probably don't look good in real life either. I don't know. Just maybe I shouldn't have said that.
I love it. All right, client parties. That's another one of my favorite things. As Jason said, I did just do a ladies' night, which was, you know, it was debate. We were debating, like, do we do this? Is it too soon? But we said, you know what, we're just going to put it out there. And we had, like, people were so excited. They were then like, yes, I want to go. I can't wait. And that was a really fun one. We just had a lady come in and teach us how to make flower bouquets. So she had all the flowers, and it was so fun. We set up like hors d'oeuvres, we had wine, and it was just like a couple hours. I did it at my personal home, and it was just such a fun time and a great way to like get into deeper relationship with my clients. So I loved that. We like to do happy hours for clients, and this is fun because you can, if you plan for them in advance, and we try to, when we're not having COVID and all this other craziness going on in the world, we try to do a happy hour a month. And we love specifically targeting different groups of people that we think would, you know, maybe enjoy meeting one another. So if it's a focus on certain business owners in the area, or if it's like I had kind of just ironically, I had one of the local elementary school teachers use me to sell their home, and then like every 2 weeks another teacher and another teacher, all at the same school. And it was so fun. I ended up helping 5 of these teachers all at pretty much the same time. So we did an event for them and their spouses. We've done couples game night, and again, I hosted that at my house. Cece actually came to that, and that was fun too, because the guys don't always want to get out without the ladies, but having a date night with their spouse can sometimes make it easier. And these things, you guys, are really inexpensive to do. Again, I'm hosting some of them at my own house. Obviously the game night, you know, it's games, it's not that hard, but it's just a fun way to connect, build relationship, and just kind of entrench your, go deeper with them, so to speak. We also do movie events where we'll rent out a movie theater and only invite clients, which is really fun because then it's like just so cool to see how many of our clients are there. And these are people, you guys, that is like, right now I'm thinking of a family that is the only time that I see them or connect with them, because they don't really respond to anything else, but they come every time to our movie events. And so everything that you do, again, different people are going to connect with it in different ways, but being intentional, being creative, trying to meet different needs. And I will tell you, not everything you do is going to win. We tried to do a guys poker night, and that just totally failed. Nobody wanted to come. So we just learned, so any other ideas that you guys have for client parties or events for clients? Anything you've done that's been really fun and cool?
Movies in the park are always a blast.
Thank you, Charles. Yes, they are. We love doing those.
Maybe even like a kids craft get together for all the moms and stuff.
I love it. I love it. I was thinking the flower night that we did for my ladies' night, that would have been like a fun mother-daughter event to do. Like a mom and a daughter to come and do together.
Have you
I did
ever
a craft
done,
night of all things.
What was that?
I did a craft night of all things, and it actually got a huge response. I was shocked.
That's awesome.
have you ever done a water, when you go to the water event places where the big slides and the waters are with families? Have you ever done that?
I haven't, but I
Water
think
parks?
yeah, that's such a cool idea too. I haven't done that.
Okay. I was just wondering how it turned out if you did.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that would be a huge hit. I will tell you, in my experience, the events that we do where kids are involved are much more attended than the ones that are not involving kids. So just a heads up. Like for example, we've always done a big Christmas party every year, but we've made it adults only.
Hello.
And this
I'm
year
ready for you.
we are changing it, and we're not doing a big Christmas party. We're doing a big event in the fall, and we're doing kind of like our own fall festival. And we're inviting kids and family, and I think it's going to be a big success because kids, and whenever we can have the kids involved, it always tends to be like a much better attended event. So awesome. All right, acknowledging your clients' birthdays and anniversaries. Again, it's just another way to keep in touch.
Jump in here, Janine. Sorry about that. For anyone who's like, well, I don't have a venue big enough to do like a craft night or to do anything. Don't forget, you can use the training room at the office. The training room at the office, the university room, is available for you guys to use for these events. Same thing with the bullpen. So utilize the office if you're like, well, I'd like to do this, but my house isn't big enough. My yard's not big enough, whatever. And you let the office be your venue, and it doesn't cost you anything.
I love it. I love it. We're all about saving money. Like our fall event is going to be at the park across the street from my dad's house because it's free. So we're all about it. So birthdays and anniversaries, again, sending a video message to them. If you don't have BombBomb, a really cool thing to do is if you are friends with them on Facebook, you can send them a video through Messenger, just wishing them happy birthday. So video messages are really cool. Obviously, just giving them a phone call and just saying, hey, happy birthday. And then handwritten cards are nice. We have always done and used send out cards to send out our birthday cards because we can kind of schedule them in advance. And we've just decided to mix it up because we've been doing that for so long. So now we're going back to handwritten note cards and including a little gift. And we also send them to the kids. And for us, it's been really kind of cool. I've had clients that have like taken pictures and posted it on social media. Look what my realtor sent me. And we usually include something with the card. So it's not just a handwritten card or just a card. So we've done like brownies in the past for birthdays. We have little Dutch Bros gift cards that we send them, just something kind of different and fun where they're like, oh my gosh, that's really nice. So just remembering them on their birthdays and anniversaries, which is another reason why using that All About You form is really important so that you can collect that info, right? All right, so when you're reaching out to them, I love using forward as a reminder, right? Sometimes when you're calling a past client and it's been a while, it's like, well, what do I talk about, right? What do I say? It's been a while. So remembering forward is a really great thing. So talk about their family, talk about their occupation, what do they like to do for fun, or what have they been doing for fun? And then what are their dreams? Really, what are their goals or some things that maybe they're hoping to accomplish? This is also why your database is really important. If you have that conversation with your past client and then you're able to document some of the things that you talked about, like maybe one of their kids is graduating, it's graduation's coming up, you can make note of that. And then the next time you talk to them, you can refer back and say, how did everything go? Or maybe they have a trip that they're looking forward to. You can refer back to it and ask them how their trip went. How amazing are they going to feel when they think, oh my gosh, they remembered that I talked about my daughter graduating or this vacation that we were so looking forward to. And I will say this, people love to talk about themselves, right? They love to share and talk about themselves, even if they think that they don't, they do. And so asking them about themselves and letting them talk is going to be a great way that they're going to feel like, oh my gosh, I love talking to Janine. It's always such a great conversation because it's always all about you, which is a good thing, right? So remember forward if you're ever stuck on, well, what do I talk about with them? All right, our annual client party. I kind of talked about this earlier. We like to do one big event for all of our clients where we can bring all of them together. This is such a fun time for us because I get to like connect people with other people, meet their neighbors, and just help them. I have clients that have become friends, that are still friends, that do things together because they've connected at our client parties. And when we do our client parties, this is really our time to say thank you to them. We want to appreciate them. We also want to maybe share a little bit of the cool things that we've done throughout the year. We also have all of our preferred vendors send us gifts that we raffle off to everybody that comes. So, I mean, our preferred roofer, we literally ask everybody that we work with, our inspector, you name it, we're going to ask them to donate a gift to our client party. And we get to raffle it off, we get to highlight their business, something fun for the people that come. And it just ends up being a really good time and lots of memories are made there. For me, I don't know if I've shared this with you guys before, but when I moved here from California, when I moved to Arizona from California, one of the things that I noticed that was different was, especially where I moved to, just like a great sense of community. And there were a lot of opportunities for me to connect with my neighbors. I was a new mom, and so being able to connect with other moms was so great. And it really made my life richer and deeper and better. And so when I do these events, that's really, for me, the heart of the event is providing an opportunity for a client to have a fun time, maybe meet some new people, make some new connections, make some memories, and just give them that opportunity. It's almost, I feel like it sounds cheesy, but like I'm like spreading cheer to them. And again, when they come, it just gives me that opportunity to strengthen my relationship with them. And I've had experiences, you guys, with clients where I'm like, oh, I don't think that went so well, or maybe they weren't so happy or whatever, right? Because the process can be stressful. And when we get to do these events and they come and they're happy, it like solidifies us. So invite everybody, do them. And sometimes it's nice to get out of just the whole real estate world and just have fun. And they get to see that you're a real person, that you're fun. I always have my family with me. They get to meet my husband and my kids. And it just really provides a great opportunity to have a great connection. So, all right, using social media. So social media, it's like a gift. It really is, because it gives us such a great opportunity to stay in front of our clients. It's like I have a love-hate relationship with it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, so much work. But it's free, and I get to put out all the content I want out there. I get to consistently remind people of what I do and why I'm great at what I do, and share some really cool things. Hopefully I am giving them value or giving them information that they find helpful. And so social media is amazing. Sharing, obviously, all the great things that you're doing. Um, I went to a conference a while ago, and any of you who were there with me will remember, but this guy, Tony, was speaking, and it was kind of after the market had crashed, and he was like so broke that he was living in his van at the beach. But he would put his suit on and go out and do the broker tours to preview homes, and he would just Facebook about it when he was there. So he would take pictures and show it off and put that content out there. And he ended up getting a piece of business, which was like his highest listing at the time, and his first real listing at the time, from someone who had followed him on social media and said, you know, my mom's been trying to sell her home. She can't sell it. You look like you sell a lot of homes in that higher price range. And he ended up getting the piece of business. And the funny thing was, he had never sold a house before. So putting that content out there, showing that you're an active realtor, they don't have to know if you're previewing a home or if it's your listing or your buyer buying that home, but putting it out there and showing that you're active is a really cool, easy way to get in front of people. So you can see on here, right, we share all of our listings, everything that we have coming soon, we're promoting, and I've sold a lot of homes just on social media, you guys, because of the friends that I have with the relationships with other realtors. Sharing people want to see who you are as a person too. So when we're out doing fun things as a team or whatever, sharing about that as well. And they get to see that, hey, we're real people. And then giving them value, right? So there's the video that I did with Stacy where we were talking about the market and low interest rates and all of that. So trying to take advantage of it, be seen as a resource. I love it when someone messages me, hey, Janine, I need a painter, or hey, I need this or that. Because to me, they're seeing me as someone that can help them, and I really appreciate that. I would love to hear from you guys. What are some really cool things that you've done with social media in terms of keeping in touch or staying in front of your clients?
So, two things real quick, Janine. One, the guy you're talking about, his name's Tony Giordano.
Yes, it
He
is.
wrote the book, The Social Agent, and he has a Social Agent 2.0 out there as well. Nice. Videos is huge though, just like you said. I know for a while I was going around utilizing Snapchat to take videos. It used to be you could download the story all into one. Now it separates each story depending on how continuous you were. And it made me stop for a while. And the number one thing that most of my friends, when they saw me, would tell me is, when are you going to start doing this again? We love those videos, especially the terrible houses. Please find more. Those were amazing. So utilizing utilizing video in terms of that is absolutely huge. And as I think it was Jason said earlier, I have a face for radio. I don't have a face for recording or any of that stuff. So it's okay to go do video. You don't have to be perfect. People want authentic. They don't care about perfect. They want authentic. Let your true personality show through and just be yourself. Have fun with it. And just, like I said, just have fun. Go do what you want to. Everybody's going to absolutely love what you do. It doesn't matter. As long as you make it entertaining, informing, something like that. So that's all I wanted to put on, just because, as most of you guys know, I do almost all my business through Facebook.
I've also seen this girl in Tucson. I think she works for Keller Williams office out there, but she's gotten a lot of clients by posting informational videos and advice on YouTube for other real estate agents, and she's actually gotten clients through doing it like that. So not even like necessarily marketing to clients, but to other agents.
I love it. I love it. It's all good stuff, and it's free. It's just amazing that we have this ability to connect with our clients in such a easy, simple way. So I love it. I know that we've said this before, but obviously it's super important to make sure that you're interacting with your clients and potential clients, your friends, that you're commenting, liking, all of that stuff, and actually, you know, interacting with them on social media too. So,
Yeah, just one thing to add to that real quick,
Yep.
and to remember this for everybody. Social media relationships are 100 times more powerful than interpersonal relationships. So there's people I have that are friends on my Facebook I've never met, and yet we talk about everything in life because you can build that relationship there. So make sure you aren't just posting, hey, look at me, hey, look at me. Like she said, definitely look into creating and building the relationship by commenting, liking, messaging, just catching up, seeing what's going on, being there for them. If they post that they're having a bad day or something bad's going on, don't just comment, message out and reach out directly.
For sure. So I want to talk about managing your activity. You have got to plan for these things. It's all well and nice to have these great lofty ideas, but if you don't do anything about it, it's pointless. And if you don't do it consistently. So, you know, I just threw like stuff on this calendar, but planning out in advance what you're going to do. We do a planning meeting in November for the following year. And we plan everything, you guys, every event, every pop by, every holiday, whatever we're going to do to acknowledge a holiday, all of it. And then we just work backwards from that. And of course, we add in things, but it is so important. It holds us accountable. I have to have posts on my calendar for social media posts, things that I have to remember to post about because I get so busy. It's just not something I'm naturally inclined to do. So using a calendar, planning it out in advance is going to be really important. Every touch, if you need to put in there, okay, I need to record my birthday videos at the beginning of the month. I need to call these people. I need to plan this event. I mean, all of it. Do not just do it willy-nilly because it won't work out for you. So be intentional, use a calendar, plan for it. Jason, you're muted.
There. I was like, I'm trying to unmute myself there. So one of the tools that you can use for that is Command. So you set this out on your calendar, and then you can actually go pre-schedule in Command, folks, to post for you. So you can go in and say for, Facebook, it's Janine's birthday. I recorded a video, load it up in there to post to her, and set it, and on her birthday it'll post. So you don't have to really, when Janine's talking about set this stuff up content wise at the beginning, absolutely, and then use the tools we have like Command to auto post, and Command will do the same thing for Twitter, and you can have it set up so that it's, Charles has already showed us that you can get some of these, like the door knocking hangers, you can get those ordered, they'll deliver to you. I mean, you do that all at the beginning of the month, and then bam, it just runs seamlessly for you. So use those tools that we have.
One of the other things that we use with Command is we do 30-day calls after closing. So 30 days later, whether you bought or sold, we have a reminder in there for us to reach out and touch base with our client. And it's so nice, you guys, not to have to think about it. As soon as it closes, that date gets added into Command, and then we get a reminder when it's due. We do it for 30 days out, and we do it for a year out as a reminder. So setting those in advance is going to be super, super helpful. And again, a great way to touch base with your client and see how things are going. And those, you guys, let me say this too. Those kinds of activities are so easy. They're so fun, and they are so amazing at entrenching you with your client, building that relationship with them. And that's a great time to ask for a referral, right? They're happy, they're in their home, all the stress is done with. And now you can say, hey, by the way, if you come across anyone who's thinking of moving, of course, I would just be so honored to help them, right? Remind them of that. They need to be reminded, they need to be told how that they can refer you out, and they need to know that you want the business. I hear from people, well, oh, you're so busy or whatever. And it's like, I am never too busy for that. That's how I thrive. So reminding them that you want their referrals is so important. So putting those reminders in there ahead of time, so you don't have to think about it, it's going to be really key in helping you maintain that relationship. So I want to stop for a second and give you guys a chance to write down 3 things that you are going to implement immediately into your business from just this little first half of what I've shared with you. So write down 3 things. We need some like Jeopardy music.
I'm still fairly new and it's only my 2nd year, but I've sent cards out to my clients for Happy House Anniversary.
Yay.
So when they're in there the 1 year, I'll send a card to them and Happy House Anniversary and give a little gift certificate for them, maybe to have dinner or someplace, you know, to grab something to eat. But that seems to have sparked some good energy from that.
Yeah, and I've had it where I've called people on their anniversary, house anniversary, and they're like, I didn't even realize, I can't believe it's been a year. You know, it's just a great, easy, it's such an easy phone call.
Hey, Janine, while everybody's thinking about their 3 things, I was just going to go back to the All About You form that we use. So just a little tip, I keep that little form in a folder for every active person I have, and I keep it with me in my bag or in my truck, so that when I'm out and about, if I haven't talked to them in a while and I really don't have any updates to give them, I'll look at that and see, oh, they like cheesecake. So I'll stop by Safeway, grab a cheesecake, and then just drop it by their house unannounced. Or maybe it's a certain drink or something. And it's, you know, we're using the form that we had them fill out. Most of them forget they even filled it out because they were filling out so many forms when we took that listing or had that buyer consultation. And it's amazing what responses we get from those, just little things like that. Maybe it's take a thing of lemonade over there because it's hot or something. I mean, it's awesome. And it's just a way to, something super simple, very inexpensive. I mean, I would say I probably spend about $25 to $50 on every person, every transaction of my own money where I just do those little things, and it pays huge dividends.
Yeah, you're really good at that, Ryan. I love that reminder. And also, right, when we put together our closing gifts, it's great to have that info so that we can personalize the closing gifts for the client because we know what they like or don't like. So just to be able to personalize things along the way. We've also used it when we go to meet a client for a signing and we have their favorite drink on there. Okay, they like this coffee or whatever, pick it up and bring it to them at the signing. Like, just so cool, you know? Thank you. All right, hopefully everybody has their 3 things that they will implement now. Let me get 2 people that want to share with me 1 thing that they're excited to implement right away.
Definitely recording birthday videos.
Yay, thank you, Charles. Who else? Anyone else? What's 1 thing that you're excited to implement into your business right away?
Using the All About You form when you send it to me.
Okay. I love it. All right. So we want to talk about, now you have a lead. How do you keep that client? What do you do to make sure that they want to use you? So while we're talking about this, I want you guys to think about, what was the last time that you had an experience where you were like, wow, like that was amazing service. This person really went above and beyond, and I just was like really wowed. I would love to have a couple examples. So the last time you were really wowed, someone just really went above and beyond to do something amazing for you.
Hey, Janine, I have one.
Let's hear it, Stacy.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, Angela and I went out for dinner because we've been social distancing. We went out for dinner. It was a nice place in Scottsdale, and the chef came around and he talked to everybody. was good. He gave us some ideas for recipes and how to cook. But that was a really cool personal touch, having the chef come out and meet the clients. I thought that was.
I love that. And how easy of a thing for him to do, but it really meant a lot that he just took that time to come and say hi. I love that. What else? Let's hear one more. I'm looking at you guys. Ryan?
I have one.
Okay, let's hear it.
So when I was pregnant with Sophia, one of the things that you hate is waiting in the doctor's office. So the doctor, what they did was while you were waiting, they had a massage therapist come in and rub your legs and feet. And I just thought, wow, how smart are you? Because right now I really don't want the doctor to come in. Like I want this to like wait longer. So they found a pain point with their clients, like what is something that's really, you know, upsetting to them or that frustrating to them, and they made it something that they look forward to.
I love it.
I have one as well, Janine.
Yes.
I recently have a listing, and we're going to be painting the inside of the house, and so she found a painter that she had used in the past. When I called him, I asked him what color, because they had already decided on a color. So I called him and said, what color are you going to be using? And he said, it's kind of a lavender, the same as the bedroom. I said, that won't work. So I said, let me see what I can find. And he said, yeah, because I don't pick colors. I let the clients pick colors. He was very insistent on that. So we decided that the next day I would go to Sherwin-Williams. I kind of look at some colors, and I was also looking at some of the different pictures in the MLS that might also be, that have been used in the area, in her subdivision. And in the next day, I get a text from him. He had went out to one of their new builds, found out what they were using there, and sent me a whole list and said, this is what they're using right now in all the new builds. And this is the one I suggest because of the colors that it's going to bring out the cabinets, make them look richer. He gave me this long email, and I was so impressed because he had the day before told me he doesn't pick colors. And then the second time I hear from him, it's this, not only did he pick the color, but he gave me the justification for why he picked it. I will use him in the future.
I love that. I love that. So the common theme in all of those examples is you had your like expectation, right? Stacey, your expectation was to go to dinner and enjoy your dinner with Angela. And then something happened that was unexpected. That was a nice surprise. And I love that. So thinking when we're interacting with our clients, they have expectations of us, right? We have a job to do. What is it that you can do throughout that process to exceed their expectations? Sometimes it's as simple as additional phone calls, keeping them updated throughout the process, right? They expect to hear from you just the bare minimum, but when you just call additionally to check in on them, how's it going? Do you guys need anything, right? Sometimes that can be just enough to wow them. So as you work with your clients, look for ways to not just get by and do the bare minimum and get the deal to close, but look for ways that you can exceed their expectations and wow them. That is what it is all about. And that is why we do all of these things. So it gives us those opportunities. So why do most of us fall short of that? Well, number one is we don't have a team. We don't have others that we can rely on to help us out. And you guys, a team doesn't just have to mean, I work with these other realtors and we all work together. Sometimes your team is your lender, right? Sometimes your team is relying on Jason at the office. So taking advantage of those that you do work with and relying on them to help us out to support us. Some of us, we're control freaks. We think, okay, well, if I don't do it, it's not going to happen, or I'm the only one who can do it this good, so I have to be the one to do it. And we just know that that is totally not the truth. There are things that others can do and can do really, really well on our behalf. The other way that we fall short is we don't have a system. So we don't have those things scheduled out on our calendar in advance. So maybe you know, 1 month we remember to call, but then the next we don't, right? Or we don't know that we have to send out our birthday cards or a birthday phone call because we don't even have their birthday in our database. So we don't have a system. And then there's just no consistency. It is not enough to do something one time. It needs to be consistent. So you need to give good service consistently in order to really wow our clients, right? It's not enough to just do it one time. So why is it so important? Well, people want to feel special, right? They want to know that you care. And especially in working with us, they want to know that we're not just another transaction to them. We're not just another client that we're working with, that we really do care about them personally. I have a lady that I'm working with right now. She's an older lady, and every time we have paperwork or whatever to go over, she always wants me to come and meet with her in person. You guys, I am so busy. That is like, I love her, but that is like the last thing I want to do, but I do it. And at the end of our time together, we always end up sitting there and chatting, and she just tells me stories and just talks to me, and I just listen. And to be honest, it actually ends up being kind of enjoyable, but I know that that is like connecting her and I so much, you know, and that there's nothing that I can do that would be a better or make a stronger connection than just sitting there and listening to her. So it's impactful when you make a huge impression and stand out. You want to stand out. Again, there is a ton of competition, a ton, you guys, a ton. So we need to find ways that we can stand out, show our value, show that we're better. Consistent communication builds our better relationships. So when we're staying consistently in communication with our clients, we're going to have a much stronger relationship with them when time comes. I can think of people that I've just stayed in touch with over the years, and maybe I worked with them 5 years ago, but they're still referring me out. I have one right now. I just took a listing yesterday from someone who she referred me to, who I worked with. I honestly think it was like one of my first deals ever. And it's just because I've stayed in relationship with her. So consistent communication builds that. And then a lead from a warm referral source is much better. So a warm referral source is someone that we mutually know, right? It's not just someone that we don't know. It's someone that's genuinely passed this person on. And that is a much stronger, much more credible lead than not being a warm. So if I can stay in relationship with my clients so that they refer me out, I have a greater opportunity of getting that referral and doing business with that referral because I've stayed in relationship with that client. Does that make sense? All right, so a couple things that we do before we even go out to meet with a client is we drop off what we call our pre-listing packet, and here's a picture of it and what it looks like when we open it up. And there are several pieces of paper on each side, but we have, you know, questions to ask when hiring a realtor, meet the team, just some other stuff, some helpful hints to getting your home ready to sell. And we drop it off on their front porch. So if I'm meeting with someone tomorrow, I'm gonna either drop it off or have someone drop it off and leave it for them on their front door. We don't knock on their door. We just leave this pre-listing packet for them. You guys, I have competed many times with other realtors for listings, and they tell me you are the only one who did that. And that's sometimes that's enough. That's like that strong first impression. Obviously, you want to prepare your comparable sales. I will just say this is a little bit of my soapbox. There are a lot of systems that we can just plug in the address and have it spit it out. I would say do the work yourself and actually look like you are going to look for a buyer, or look and pretend that you're an appraiser. Do not rely on those automated systems to do comps for you. Genuinely pull them yourselves and look at the comps. It's also really cool to send a video and just say, hey, I'm really looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. And again, putting that face in front of your name. Sending them a calendar invite just to solidify that appointment time. Some of these things, they're super small in nature, but they're just enough that if you're the only one who does that and no one else does, that's enough sometimes to push you over the edge. Is there anything that anyone else does before they go to a listing appointment that they think is really cool that kind of sets them apart?
If you have a testimonial leak, definitely send testimonials.
Yep, I love that. I do have one of my pages in our pre-listing packet is a list of testimonials. Anyone else do anything cool or have anything cool that they think is really great to do before a listing appointment? All right, so while you're working with a client, what is it that you should be doing to, again, wow them and keep them just super happy? So this is kind of obvious, but you want to call them on a weekly basis. So for me, it's every Tuesday. I'm reaching out to every single one of my clients, whether they're a client that I'm working with, you know, and under contract, whether we're prepping their home to get it listed, whether it's a new build that's not closing for 5 more months. I'm touching base with them on a weekly basis and giving them updates on whatever it is that I have to give them updates on. So this is a great reminder. It's also really great if you have this as a set day in your calendar because it creates that expectation with a client. So for example, for me, my days are Tuesdays, and I had a client reach out to me today and she was asking a question and she said to me, I know you'll call me today, because she's already used to me calling her every Tuesday, but I just love that, you know? So she's expecting it. She knows that it's coming. She knows that I'm going to keep her updated, and that means a lot to me, that she's not going to have to wonder what's going on, right? She knows Janine will let me know. So calling your clients on a weekly basis at the bare minimum, you guys, bare minimum, just to touch base and give them an update. It's going to be really important.
Hey, Janine.
Yes.
It's Mike Salyer. Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Do you ever have anybody that once a week is not enough? And then what do you do in that case?
Let me just say this, that oftentimes I am talking to them much more than once a week. But sometimes there's a lull in the process, right? Where there isn't much going on or whatever. It's just a great way to connect with them and just to get in front of them. And you can even say like, look, nothing has really changed, right? We're still moving forward, progress as normal. Things are going well, but just connecting with them. I think for me, especially having a team, they're going to get communication from a lot of different people. But it's really important that they're hearing from me too. So I would say more often than not, you're calling them throughout the week, but that once a week call is like a overview call of everything that's going on, right? So maybe when you're calling them throughout the week, it's for a specific reason, but that weekly call is like, here we are, big picture. This is what's happening with everything, kind of a thing. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
Can I add on to that?
What?
Can I add on to that?
Yes, please, Stacey.
Okay, guys. So these Tuesday calls or your weekly status calls, those are phenomenal. But it's an also great time for you guys to check the pulse of your buyer or your client. How are we doing? Is there anything we can be doing better on a scale of 1 to 10? So you can really gauge on where they are in the process, if there's anything that you can fix before you get to the finish line, and then you find out later that they didn't like something that was going on in the process. So we use those calls as well, the same as Janine. And if I hear something, I can relay it back to Janine or any of our realtor partners if something's not going well. But it's also, and then the third thing is that we can use this as an opportunity. Hey, by the way, just keep our name in mind if you run across anybody who's looking to buy, sell. So you have these touch points throughout the transaction that you can also use to build rapport, but to tap into potential referrals.
Great. Love it. Thank you, Stacey, for sharing those things. I think hopefully that's like the message I would want to communicate, is that you're going to be talking to your client throughout the week about random things. But that weekly phone call is really like I don't know, just like a connecting point with the client for various different reasons. But again, really the focus is really solidifying, making sure that they feel well informed, asking for referrals. You know, sometimes that's a great time to just be like, hey, you know, chances are since you're moving, you're talking to people that are wanting to move, don't forget, you know, I would love to help them, right? Great opportunity to throw that in too. And again, you guys, remember, these are things that we wanted you to do to set yourself apart, to set yourself as better than the rest. So this next one, I'm really excited about sharing, because it's really important. So we have a lot of homes that are vacant where the clients moved out. One of the listings I took yesterday, it was been a rental. The renters just moved out. Now we're going to sell it. I had one. I mean, just you think, our homes we have vacant homes. It is so important that we're checking on those homes at least once a week, and we're picking up junk mail on the front door. We're sweeping it away. We're flushing toilets inside, picking up all those old business cards from realtors that have showed it, making sure that the home shows well. I've had it many times where we've come in to do these vacant home checks and all of a sudden there's a leak because nobody's there and no one knew. You just can keep the home looking beautiful and clean. When we go to show a home and you walk up, that first impression is so important. And if there's junk and clutter and junk mail there, that's not a good first impression. It's also communicating to the world, hey, no one lives here and no one's checking on this home because that junk mail's been there for a few days. It's also a great service to your client and a great peace of mind for them. I cannot tell you how many times, I have one right now where the client, it's under contract. They were living in the home halfway through escrow. They've moved out of state now. So there's a few weeks where this home is going to be empty. It gives him great peace of mind to know that I am walking through it every Monday because that's the day that we do it. Again, it's on our calendar. And I'm checking on it. So I'm checking on his pool. I'm making sure the yards are cleaned up, all of that stuff. What a great service to our client to know that their home is in good hands, even when they're not physically there. And again, when you guys are out showing homes and you're going into these homes and they're dirty, there's junk in the front porch, to me, I just think, wow, that's like a lazy agent. I would never want my listing to show up that way. So take pride in your listing, take pride in your homes, and go above and beyond, do those little things. I had one the other day where my client was like, oh, we were there the other day and my daughter like touched the slider door and left her handprints all over it and I don't have Windex. She's like, will you bring Windex when you check on it? Done. Yes, I will bring Windex and wash those windows for you, and I'm happy to do it. I guarantee you that that sets me apart and that just shows her that I'm going that extra mile. Ryan, do you have anything that you want to add to that?
I do. That just reminded me, we had a listing last year where the couple had moved to Chicago and it was vacant in the Bridges. And we actually sold the house across the street and the one next door. And so we took over from another agent that wasn't getting it done apparently. And so he was in Chicago and he couldn't do anything. And there were a lot of things that needed to be done to the house. Number one was to paint. So we had a painter come in and he touched it up, but I ended up painting a room that wasn't on that contract. I ended up painting part of the garage just to get rid of the tire marks from the kids' bikes and cleaning it up. Took off sunscreens and clean windows and vacuumed. And I don't know that the seller knew all of those things, but his response and his write-up when we got it sold was one of the best ones I think I've ever seen. And so it was pretty cool just seeing all the fruits of that labor come through. So those are things that I know that we're willing to do and you got to be willing to do to get it done. So.
I love it. Thanks for sharing, Ryan. That was awesome. All right. Some of the fun things that we get to do is when our clients go under contract, we'll send them, we ordered these moving labels off of Amazon, and we'll send them to our clients as like a, hey, congrats, here's some moving labels. We also put together really cool moving boxes that have bubble wrap, it has packing tape. We have like sticker labels and a Sharpie, and we just drop it off the day after we go under contract and leave it on their front porch. And they come home to it or find it or whatever, and it's like, congrats, you know, get ready to start packing. And it's just such a fun way to surprise them and to just kind of, again, just make it a fun experience for them and do something unexpected. So once you get to closing and then continuing that relationship after, This, you guys, is where I would say it's really, really important. You know that the process, and I'll always prep my clients, is the process is going to be bumpy, right? It's stressful. I can't help all of that. I will do my very best to minimize that stress for you and protect your interest along the way, but things are going to come up. And so when we get to that point, especially towards the end, oftentimes it's stressful for the clients. They're trying to coordinate moving, closing, all of this stuff. And so how you choose to handle that part at the end and moving forward is going to make all the difference. So you really want to celebrate with your clients when you close, when the deal is done. So we love to meet our clients, bring them a big closing gift. The picture I had for this did not upload very well, so I don't have it, but we have really fun baskets that we do that we personalize for our clients and include different things. You know, if they're have kids and they're buying a home that has a pool, we'll give them pool floaties and beach towels. You know, if they like wine, red or white, you know, we'll include that. I mean, just different things like that. We have pretty cutting boards that we do that have our info on it. So just different things to give them, but it's so fun to show up with a big package and hand them their keys at closing. And then of course, we'd love to post about it and celebrate them that way too. So celebrate your clients. You also want to include the kids in this process. Honoring the kids throughout and getting them excited is going to be really important and go a long way with your, in terms of your, the perception that those clients have of you. Loving on their kids is an awesome thing to do. So we have a ton of these Bernstein Bears Moving Day books. We just order them on bulk and then have them, and we'll give them out to kids. So we give them out to them different parts of the process. It depends. Sometimes it's immediately, sometimes it's once we go under contract or towards the end of the process, but it's just a fun thing to do for kids to get them excited about moving too. What else, Ryan? Anything else that you can think of that we do that's fun for the kids? As I mentioned, we try to personalize the closing gifts to include things for the kids.
Yeah, we have little poppers. So when we go under contract, either for the purchase or when it goes under as the listing, there are these little, they almost look like 4th of July poppers where they twist it and just, it shoots out confetti. It says congratulations, you know, for going under contract, and we usually give those to the kids and tell them to do it outside.
Yeah.
Another thing I was going to mention too, when I go to signings, sometimes it'll be at title companies that I've never been to before. So I'll ask the escrow officer, how often do agents come to these? And almost all of them say about 30%, which blows my mind. So an easy way to stand out is to go to the signing and be there as moral support, if nothing else. Most of the time you're not doing anything. And if you're really thinking ahead, you've gone through the settlement form with them and answered their questions, but it's an easy way to really provide an awesome customer service.
For sure, for sure. And I love it too. It's a great way if the process has been a little bit bumpy or stressful, it's a good way to overcome some of that too, right? Because it just shows that you care. So in-home visit with the gift after closing is always nice. Not only, you know, meeting them there on closing day, but then coming either a few days later or a week later and visiting them and then dropping off their closing gift at that time can be a really fun way to connect to them. And again, get face-to-face time to build that relationship with that client, and it's really fun. So sending the settlement statement out. So one of the things that we do is we immediately at closing, we print out that final settlement statement and we keep a copy of it with a letter. And then after the first of the year, we send all of those out. We send them hard mail and snail mail, and then we also send them a copy via email. And it's a great way for us to, again, stay in front of our clients, help them out. How often have your clients reached out to you and been like, hey, can I get that? So it's a way to be proactive on their behalf and just provide a service and stay in front of them. So we love sending out that settlement statement. Calling on their anniversary, as we talked about. The first year anniversary is always fun. But this is a great way, you guys, as time goes on, if you continue to call them on their annual anniversary, when they start to get that itch again, their family's growing, whatever, who are they going to think of? This is also a great time for you to give them an updated value, estimate on their home value, staying in front of them that way, just giving them value, offering. One of the things that's really great when the client buys a brand new home is if their warranty is up after that first year, reminding them if they want to renew their home warranty, but also, hey, do you want to get the home inspector to come out now before the builder's warranty period ends, so that any issues that are found they can address, just helping with some of those helpful hints, and again, staying in front of them. All right, guys, one more chance to write down 3 things that you will implement now in your business. 3 things. If you don't write it down, there's a good chance that you won't do it. So do yourself a favor and write it down.
I love the Bernstein Bears book that you put for the kids. That's fantastic. A couple of families have given gift certificates to places where they can go get ice cream, like Dairy Queen, things like that, for the kids separate, because when you give the gifts to the parents, they sit there and they kind of think, well, what about me?
Yeah.
And so I make sure that they get a little basket of, I'm not sure how great the parents will love it with all the ice cream and the sugar, but they love it. So
Totally.
Michael,
I love the book.
Michael, I'll add to that too. A couple of quick things. I have a client right now in the Bridges that's selling. The husband's in Dallas working in a new job. And so mom's at home working and taking care of kids, homeschool, as we were this last couple months. So she's stressed, and the kids have been kind of a tear. And they're old enough to where that Bernstein Bear book probably won't fit their age group. But I told them, I said, if you guys can be good and help your mom keep the house clean, I'll buy you pizza before you move. So those are some things that I'll throw in there too for kids, just to give them some incentive, and just don't forget to do it.
Perfect.
I remember I had a closing, this was like a couple months ago, and at the closing, I met the clients there to give them their house keys, and her 3 kids came up to me, and they had all like drawn me a picture, wrote me a note. They had little flower for me, just so nice and thoughtful. It like genuinely touched me. And I think it's just because I was intentional with them too. I didn't ignore them. And how cool for the parents to see their kids do something like that. So it's so important to remember the kids.
Hey, Janine, the pizza thing reminded me of another thing too. I'm curious how many agents buy dinner for them as they're getting ready to move out. One of the things that I've seen a need for, and we do this, is that week that they're packing up their whole home and they're about ready to move out. It's almost the best time to do it is almost the night before they move out, because they have packed their kitchen pretty much. And that's just to take them dinner. So then I go back to that all about you form, or I'll simply say, hey, I'm bringing you dinner, so you don't have to worry about it. And you should see the moms' faces when we share that. It's awesome. And we're talking $30, $35 for anywhere from $4,000 to $9,000, $10,000 commission. It's completely worth it.
Yeah. And you did that, Stacy, for one of our mutual clients recently, and they told me about it because they thought it was so awesome.
Yeah, we're sending out pizza at closing. Every purchase gets pizza at closing.
That's
we
awesome.
tried to do the customized gifts for a while, but it got to be too much. So everybody gets pizza. They get a call the day of closing, and we schedule around their move date.
I love it.
Because you're
Take care,
awesome.
buddy. Have a great day. I got to go to inspection.
Bye. All right, so after the transaction, how do you keep your past clients engaged so that they refer you and continue to do business with you? This is so important. You must build relationships with them. You must stay in front of them. This picture is actually from a fun happy hour event we did with a specific neighborhood, and it was so much fun. And I have to tell you a funny story. So there's a lady in this picture who she bought one of my listings. And after closing, I always send out 100 door hangers to the 100 homes surrounding, just saying, hey, just sold, and I put the price on there. Well, she did not like that. She did not want me sharing that info. And she was like really upset with me. And I, of course, apologized, all this stuff. So for her to come to this happy hour was like so wonderful. I'm like, yay, she's here, you know, and I was able to connect with her. This happy hour, I would say, was maybe 8 months to a year ago. I just closed on their house. They sold their house and they called me to sell it. And it was amazing. And I think, honestly, doing an event like this where I was able to invite her and build relationship with her, I think is part of what won her over. So it's awesome. All right, so I want to leave you with this quote. It's by our famous and favorite Maya Angelou. It says, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And I want our business to be a business that makes people feel loved and special and cared for. And we're going to mess up, you know, we're not perfect, but if they know that we care and that we want to do good for them, oftentimes that can go above and beyond a lot of the other shortcomings or stressors that can happen along the way. So I hope that that was super helpful for you guys and that you guys got a few little tips of different things that you can do to implement into your business to go and just really wow the client. Again, I think it is so important that we make sure that we do a really good job because there are so many realtors out there. There's a lot of competition. And if we don't continue to show our value, I think they'll find a way to kind of push us out. So make sure that you show your value, do a good job, especially as my fellow KW agents. I just want our company to be known as a company that just does really well for their clients and takes good care of them. So I'm happy to help if you guys ever need anything or just want to like, hey, what do I do about this? Or what do you think about that? I'd be happy to help with that too. So thank you all.
Thanks, Janine. You did such a great job. We really appreciate you sharing all that with us.
No problem. Happy to help, Mike. Thank you.
Go get them.
Thank you, Janine.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Janine.
You're welcome.